pull on your seats, jump in. This is really, really exciting stuff. And actually, those of you who know me, you're going to be surprised I'm starting with PowerPoint, right? Because I'm not a very visual person. I'm not very good artistically with things. I'm an Excel girl through and through, right? But there's some of the most exciting things are actually coming to PowerPoint. So I'm going to talk to you first about a couple of AI things. And I'm going to take you behind the scenes in this PowerPoint. So forgive me for doing this. All right. So I'm looking at this slide in particular. I've also downloaded a new software. You'll have to tell me if it makes you dizzy. It's going to let me zoom into the ribbon, because I'm betting the ribbon is hard to see in the back at this point, right? I can zoom in as much as I want in the slide, but not the ribbon. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, automatic subtitles. How many of you guys have heard about these before? Oh, I'm so excited to show you. A couple of you, I've sneak peeked it too, right? All right, so you may not have this yet when you get 365, but you will really soon if you don't. This is going to live on the slideshow tab of your ribbon. So when you get this, right now if you don't have it, your slideshow tab is going to end at monitors. That's how it was in 2016. That's how it's going to be for people on earlier versions of 365. Once you get it, you're going to have a new group called captions and subtitles. This is really cool. So notice I've got a box that says always use subtitles. It is not checked by default. I'm going to check it now. Also have a few subtitle settings, and I'm going to show you more about these a little bit later. For now, I'm going to skip over the top couple options. You can choose where the subtitles appear. The default is above the slide. You can kind of tell that that's depressed a little bit, right? Also, there's a reminder back here. You need to have some sort of microphone. So in this case, I'm going to be using the microphone on my laptop. But if you're going to do a long presentation, you're going to probably want to have something that's a little higher quality than your laptop microphone. Some computers don't have microphones, so this is another reason to point this out. Okay, I've turned it on. Let's experience it. Okay, subtitles are starting. I'm going to stand close to my laptop here so I can pick them up as I'm talking. I'm here with some of my good friends testing out this awesome new feature in PowerPoint. Pretty amazing, actually. So pretty cool. I did a presentation on this at the accessibility conference this summer. I had a question from somebody asking, can I have that transcript after my presentation? And that is actually coming in a beta version, I hear. So stay tuned for that. I don't have access to that yet. But there's actually more to this. So I kind of skipped over these first couple options here. You can choose a subtitle language. So it's better with the subtitle language than the spoken language, has fewer options. But I'd like to show you the subtitle language. Are there any bilingual folks in here? Language? Yeah, German. Okay, let's do it. We're going to translate this to German, and Janice is going to tell us if this is accurate. Okay, now the subtitle language is set to German, and we will see if it's accurate. Does it look pretty accurate? So pretty cool, can translate into other languages. It's kind of nice, lucky to have a bilingual person here who can tell us for sure that this is working.
You kept your Americanized cool.
Sweet. Yeah, it's very cool. So pretty good, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's not 100%. There's a couple languages where I've shown it to people and they're like, yeah. But at the accessibility conference, there was an Arabic speaker who confirmed that it was 100% accurate what we were playing with, at least for those first few sentences. So something to think about. Yeah, it's a whole other alphabet too there. Similarly, you can kind of see the effect of it. I'm just going to show this to you and probably embarrass myself. The other way, going the other way around, if the spoken language is not English, you don't have quite as many options here. You have a lot of preview languages. This is kind of a work in progress. This is part of AI, is that you get to see things develop and get better and better. But the fewer languages above the preview languages are going to be the best quality. So if I tested out the Spanish version, slowly. Estoy aquí con mis amigos y estamos probando esta nueva característica en PowerPoint. Nice. Not too bad, right? Pretty cool. So very cool feature coming soon. I think this is one of the most exciting PowerPoint features, at least for me. Hope you guys are excited about it too. Next one I want to show you, kind of while I'm behind the scenes here, also AI's design ideas. Again, since I'm here with so many people I know well, you know I'm not a great designer of things. It's kind of infamous in some of the classes that I'm bad at picking colors and designs for things. But this presentation looks pretty good. In fact, Amy was just noticing it. She was like, oh, it looks pretty good. How'd you do that? I take 0 credit for this. I use the AI design ideas because they're awesome. You will have this already in 365. It's going to live in a couple of places. It's either going to live on your home tab, kind of on the right side. Sometimes it's over there. It may live also on the design tab of your ribbon, again, all the way on the right side. And it also may introduce itself to you as you're creating a slide and say, hey, you want some help? Experience that, dig it. Like, hey, I've got some ideas for you. And a lot of us are in the habit of Xing out of things as they pop up in front of us, so you might even miss it. So let me show you how that works. I thought we could do this one together. I've got a couple things here. So this is a really bland, vanilla slide right now, talking about design ideas, the 3 things I basically just told you. So it'll pop up and say, hey, you want some help? I'm going to force the issue here because it hasn't popped up. So basically, it's going to take whatever you've thrown in your slide, and as you throw more pictures in or more words in, it'll start changing around your design ideas. So maybe I like that one. I don't know, looks familiar, right? That's the one I tended to go with. They're different depending on the theme that you pick, and this is entirely separate from themes. So in fact, sometimes it kind of messes with your theme at this point, so you kind of have to commit to one of these. If you change themes around, sometimes it gets confused. You have to reset your slide. But it's really handy at taking your ideas and putting them kind of in a cooler layout. Another way this works, this is where audience participation is going to come in. It's really smart if you're using nouns and verbs. Well, we're always using those, aren't we? If it's the primary point of your bullet points, it actually can pick up on what those are and recommend icons to you. So I thought, you guys remember Mad Libs? Any of you guys play Mad Libs? Okay, I thought we could do this. I'm going to have you guys give me, and it can't be a proper noun, can't be Glenn Gunnels. It has to be just a general person, place, or thing. Can you give me, just throw out some nouns?
Dog.
Cat, dog.
Home.
Cat, dog, and home. Okay, that's good. And give me a couple verbs.
Run.
Run.
Jump.
Jump. Okay, perfect. Okay, that's usually enough to get it to recommend some things. It's telling me up here it's going to refresh my ideas as soon as you're done changing your slide. Sometimes I find I have to click outside my slide to get it to do that. So here's the interesting thing. It can pick up and you guys kind of took it easy on me with some of these, so it actually guessed pretty well. But if it ever picks a weird one, this is a true story. I was making this PowerPoint for you guys, and I had something like, contact me, and it put a skeleton. I don't know what that means exactly. You can correct these. So a right-click menu will allow you to say, all right, you picked a weird graphic. Let's say we didn't like this run one. We can go in here and change the graphic up. So here's an introduction to the icons, and I'm going to show you another way to get to these. These will exist not just in PowerPoint, so you'll see these in Word, you'll see these in Excel actually too. So if I didn't like the run one, I could search for run, or the only run. How about athlete? Here we go. You can have a handful of other ones to work with. They seem really simple, but I actually think they're really cool. I've actually had a lot of fun with these. Shameless plug, if you come to macros, we use the icons to attach to macros where you click on the icon and make things happen. So something to think about if you're interested in learning about macros. So speaking of icons, if you want to get to the icons proactively, you don't have to go through those design ideas. So we talk about in the essential sessions how your insert tab has all of your visual elements, and there's actually some new stuff in here now. I hope I'm not making you dizzy with that zooming. So images, you're used to that. We talked about pictures, online pictures. You're used to shapes. But icons and 3D models are the new items. You've already interacted with icons just a second ago when we created that cool design. But if you proactively wanted to get to these, you could click on the icons and get right to that screen. You don't have to go through design ideas. This works just as well. The other thing I wanted to show you over here is 3D models. So this is also new in illustrations. I'm going to show this to you. This is really cool. You can use this in Word, Excel, or PowerPoint, but I think it's arguably the funnest in PowerPoint. So you can look through these if you wanted to. You could kind of, browse around. But if I know I'm doing a presentation on dinosaurs, for instance, I could just search for dinosaur. Look at any of these guys here. Anything with a little white man in the lower left means there's some sort of action that's attached to it. So just for the sake of fun, I want to show you one of those guys. Now this one you definitely need Wi-Fi connection for. It's going to be downloading this from Microsoft server. And these do take a hot minute, I've noticed. Sometimes if you put more than one in a slow especially. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, good point. It will get bigger. So a little action happening here. I can move him around if I want to. Just by kind of, there he goes. Pretty cool guy, right? We like the dinosaur. You also have a new contextual tab for 3D models. So this is a 3D model. Got a new tab for that. You have some options in here. I'm going to show you the play area and the adjust area. So you've got some different scenes options I want to show you first. So if I wanted to check out a different scene, I could see what else it has to offer. The action ones usually have 4 or 5 different scenes. Different things going on. Yeah, it's a little aggressive. I mean, he's a T-Rex. I don't know what else they do with their time. We also have some different preset 3D model views, so I kind of moved this guy around myself, but you can also just check out kind of what they recommend. Some of them are a little weird. Like the undercarriage. Little undercarriage view. That's what we wanted. But the reason I said that I like this one in PowerPoint the most, I'm just going to go back to this one, I think, is that in PowerPoint, your action's actually going to happen in your presentation. So it's kind of fun. I don't know, even if you had a couple of these, it's kind of fun. So the other 3D models are going to work just fine in Word, right? You could print it out, it would look kind of cool in 3D. Technically, if someone opened it in Word, the action would happen. But a lot of times with Word, our end goal is to print, right? And you could do it in Excel too, but again, I mean, maybe if you wanted to draw someone's attention to it, like, look at this cell, I'm trying to put something important in here. Do that.
Profit and loss.
Yeah. So I just want to show you really quick one other thing. I kind of forced the issue and searched by dinosaur, but if you kind of don't know what you want, you can look through their 3D models. They have all of these different categories. If you know you like that animation, you can look just through animated models and kind of pick a different one in here. Did you see one you liked?
Octopus.
Octopus. Where's the octopus? Yeah, the octopus is super cute. Let's do him. He's going to my next slide, but we'll fix it. Oh no, here he goes. That's how we all feel sometimes, right? Yeah, it's a good one. They're really fun. So it's fun just to play with these, actually, if you ever have an afternoon. Just hang out and play with those guys. Okay, and like I said, we're going to see that also in the Word. I'll show you some of those in Word as well. Next thing that's new in PowerPoint that I wanted to show you is the morph transition. It's a new transition, and you will all have this already. If you don't set it up correctly, it's kind of unremarkable. It just looks like fade if it's just 2 completely different slides. But if you have 2 that are somewhat similar, especially with Smart Art, I really like it. So I have this Smart Art here, and I've made some minor changes to it on the second slide. This is kind of what the morph transition will do. If you have just minor changes, it will morph into the next slide. So, new transition. Like all of your transitions, and I know we talk about this a lot in the Essentials, PowerPoint Essentials, you have some effect options. So right now it's set as object because these are little blocks of text in Smart Art, right? But maybe your end goal is to morph words into other words or characters into other characters. So just some options for you to have one transition. This would probably be a transition for one slide in your presentation. You would very rarely set up your whole presentation as a morph presentation. If you can do that, though, props to you. That's a lot of planning. All right. There is so much more to tell you guys. I wish I had you all afternoon, but these are going to be the highlights. That's the highlights of PowerPoint that I wanted to tell you. Want to talk about